Thanks so much, Liz. Indeed, two teams that have fought with streaks of different shapes and sizes across this stage, now brought to the brink for the ultimate heat check. It's 3-3 day, baby. Marcus, one of these teams is going to playoffs, one of these teams is going home. It's a tough call between both of these. With NRG Academy's radical changes and starting out on the defense, all eyes are on them.
Yeah, it's so interesting taking a look at the story between these two teams, and the Dust did highlight this, but just to kind of reiterate this, it was a 3-win streak and then a 3-win loss for NRG Academy, and then on the side of Azure Dragon Gaming, pretty much the same thing, 3 losses and then suddenly 3 wins. So maybe a John Travolta and Nicolas Cage thing, face-off swap going on here, but only one of them can really come out on top. And I like the fact that NRG Academy are trying something new. They need a little bit of a breath of fresh air, especially after yesterday. And honestly, I think that this veto might bring us something that can really help us out, because honestly, it should be able to intercept a lot of the initiation utility. And so I imagine they're going to be seeing that veto play solo on one of those sites.
Big timing game, especially if ADG is ahead of it, and they'll try to start things out. Chaotic as that forefront, getting that opening frag, but Hugh on this off Yoru, normally on that secondary duelist, back again to get that counter frag. Now dancing around the pyramids, and Sacred's found the first opening. Big multi-killer on this map, gonna try and go for a lot of saving rounds for ADG, as they're starting to carve out their side of the toxic screen, get this spike taken away.
Last player standing.
Excellent headshot there, down just to Giza. Giza's at least able to find one, but still 3 members remain to try and make this pistol round happen.
A lot of ways to approach this, and T-Dog's still able to kind of just hold his own on the spike until Sacred makes the spin. And that'll be 3 standing for the pistol. ADG, notably proficient in those, but I mean, the tempo on the attack is the kind of thing they need to be hitting here, Marks.
It absolutely is, and that's honestly the biggest question that I had coming into this, seeing those compositions, right? Because you see that they're just a very aggressive team. The initiation utility flies in, they're already moving in, flying through, everything is going to be great. And with veto, you imagine that the interceptor is going to try and stall utility, but the big question is, what happens when Renz flies right over top your head and the rest of the team is marching in right behind? Like, sure, the Sova recon bolt didn't get any information because it evaporated midair, but there's still a lot of questions on how they make this one work. And given the fact that they are really separating Giza to be on their own all the way on one of these sites, like, I feel like that question is going to get tested quite a bit with NRG Academy's defense here.
Yeah, a lot of individual responsibility getting placed to start. We'll see if that maintains, just because this map is so dang big, it's hard to justify keeping just one on that one site, as good as Vito's holding capabilities are. All comes down to how quick ADG can be here. No doubt they're ready for the stack, but are they ready for Ange being this close? Close enough. First leg done. Shondak's holding close with this classic, and with the off-angle double stack on the pyramids, you're actually able to come up with a couple. Now the swing on top of the rifles, and that gun diff will finally make its way through. T-Dog can equalize, make it a 2v2. Sacred stepping inside the Cloudburst, winning that duel. Couple crucial fights that ADG needed to hold on to here, but they will. And Giza left with nothing. No real portal back in unless he crosses danger. Spotting some barrels, that means the fight's begun, and now it's over. Sacred already getting a 3K on the board here in round 2.
And keep in mind though, given the fact that there was that weapon difference, I was actually pretty impressed with how NRG decided to hold that. They're able to find kills in the midst of all of the chaos going on that A site. And I think it just kind of comes down to like, hey, the smokes are up, let's just move in together and our way through. But of course, you know, the SMGs, the bullets, a lot quicker, and that's going to find all the kills necessary. Giza almost able to find a kill as well to try and even that one out. But I mean, you take a look at the guns that are being bought up here. This is going to be the tough round for ADG as they kind of try to make this one work, coming in with 3 pistols, a Guardian, and a Vandal. On the other side, this should be NRG Academy starting to stabilize right now. Comboing the Veto alongside the Sova and the Omen provides a little bit more pressure, but all eyes are going to be on Ange for this A site.
That interceptor just procced? Yeah. It's been thrown on the elbow of the B walls, but I'm not gonna find anything. But it does allow NRG Academy to kind of spread themselves thin on the rest. Grab that first lurk on the A, but it's all to thwart attention from the B site. The TP back from Giza will bring 2 back to this B site early, but again, no interceptor available to stop the push. You've just got to fight it, and Giza will start. Now Chloric back as well on the cavalry. ADG continuing to hold close, and they'll try the double swing, but Shondex has both of them managed. And T-Dog now just left alone. keeping 4 standing here would be massive, and indeed, NRG Academy keep it disciplined despite such a dry B site to begin, and I'll take back the bonus.
And you can see there, like, there's the intention of pushing up onto A and just, like, making a lot of noise there to try and draw the NRG Academy defense all the way over there, trying to, you know, make it seem like that's going to be the way that it goes. And it actually kind of works because it does open things up onto B, but thankfully Shondex is able to hold their ground on that site. Paranoia gets tossed out just to stall for a little bit of additional time, and the Giza can teleport right back in, which, you know, a lot of teleporting agents in this game now, but it does help with trying to navigate around the map just a little bit easier. So a round that NRG Academy should have won. They do exactly that. And now this is going to be the rifling round for Azure Dragon Gaming. Their emphasis this time is going to be on mid, which is a different look from what we've seen.
Feels like Giza already trying to get a little more liberal with the space he's taking because he knows he can TP right back, and getting up that close will net him an easy 2. Yeah, it's nice to have multiple agents that can TP, because on a map like this, it means the pool can still be really big, you know?
Yep.
Sacred had a nice lineup there, but there's just too much in your way, and 4 guns again standing for NRG Academy. Yeah, you gotta give props to Giza for having the balls to step up like that so early in this game and getting so much of a reward out of it.
I'm getting like war flashbacks to when Chamber had those 2 TPs and you could just kind of zoop across the map and just be so aggressive and get away completely unpunished. But it's a nice little setup with this Vito, and honestly, it's great to see Vito starting to get a little bit more playtime in challengers, because I'm honestly getting really impressed with some of the text that we've been seeing for some of these teams kind of run. But in addition to that, like the combo of utility, there was fire from above just to try and make it seem like no one was creeping up. So good support to try and allow that play to kind of happen. So good kind of strategy being called from NRG Academy to make sure that was such an easy closed shut round.
Well, ADG do have a little more room to play conventionally here. Hugh, once again, get a challenge, and Giza another off angle taken in mid, and there's a whole lot more you can take from here. So Hugh done, ADG have to hit that trigger on A main, and they do have a lot of room with it. Just no gate crash now. Bones with the TP out of the screen, very low, but it's for Chaotic to take that secondary and grab another kill. Shock Dart on top of the plant to net out Bones, who is immediately caught by Ange. It's just a waiting game for NRG Academy, just finding the right moment for ADG to give themselves away. But the Viper's Pit will help dissuade the rest of that, as it's a 2v3 for this post plant.
Yeah, it's so uncomfortable that all these ultimates have to come out as soon as we see Ren's fall, or sorry, Chaotic fall down in the midst of it, but still, NRG Academy going to be moving in.
Just spraying on top of the Paranoia, seeing where they could have leveled him out. The T-Dog stays stalwart on 60. Still just scoping out. You gotta swing wide, though, if you want to catch the other 2 that are intercepting. And Sacred so far back to play off of this snake bite, potentially, but now it's a 1v3 after T-Dog's been sussed out. And NRG Academy can just walk through the pit. Anytime ADG gives something away this round, NRG Academy takes it and says thank you very much. They got the lead.
Yeah, and good protocol coming out from ADG there. Well, like I said, as soon as Chaotic goes down, the spike plant gets interrupted. They say, okay, we have to invest the ultimates here to try and make this one work. T-Dog immediately uses the Hunter's Fury, tries to clear a little bit more space, gets a couple of pings, and in the midst of all of that chaos as well, we're able to see the pit get set up, which is honestly the big win condition to make sure that that round was going to be possible. It's just NRG Academy, specifically Ange, stepping up to the plate. This player has been so impressive when it comes to navigating around the smokes. And hey, if it's the enemy's Viper's Pit, doesn't matter. Still is going to navigate that one expertly. So good stuff from NRG Academy to get their 3rd. And now that operator is going to be in the hands of Renz. But yet again, ADG looks like they're interested in pushing out on A.
And that operator's all to just help escort Giza, who's been so good at getting these first bloods for the invaders, of which there still is one, Sacred, waiting in the wings. So as ADG has already made their way in, the timing of this one might look a lot better unless Ange can just win everything anyway. Chaotic has made his way in through, and Giza's able to finally catch it. I mean, again, NRG Academy are just here for it. They can compress before ADG can have their plan fully realized. Now the spike is stranded, it's a 2v4, and you have almost nothing left. Sacred, once again, this mid-presence completely denied. And Giza with a 3K to rattle that one off. That's an economic reset for ADG, and NRG Academy leading by 2.
It's so interesting. You look at how ADG decided to initiate themselves onto that A site, this time taking a different pathing. Instead of going towards the back of the site, they wanted to move right to doors. They wanted to try and take that fight very proactively. And well, all that happened was Ange just backed up. and just hung around the corner, and then it allowed just enough time for the cavalry to come in through those doors, and suddenly ADG found themselves into this weird awkward spot playing on the Viper wall that kind of got set up there, and so they were just honestly looking in so many different directions at once. Good stuff from NRG yet again. Renz tries to go for the shot, not able to necessarily land it, but right now this is a bit of a different look on this attack. A double push up, both on A and all the way on to B as well, watching for the potential teleport back of this veto.
Yeah. There's the trap getting set up and then the TP away. It still sells that Sacred is there. So NRG Academy gonna just lob a drone back over to the elbow to check. I don't know if that fully reached. Giza getting a spot in mid, sees the TP, takes that cross cut back to the elbow for the intercept. And once again, NRG Academy are fully here for this. 3v5, split kind of thin, but Shondex catches the first. You're never really going for the breach. You're just, to NRG Academy, you're just giving yourself away again. Like, that's just how they interpret it.
Yeah, they're still gonna try and make this one work here, but once again, weapon differences, okay, good start.
Good patience. Now Shondex, I mean, still known that he's here. Where exactly? Recon susses it out, and I know where he's planted by this point, and Hugh waiting for it. Great patience there by Azure Dragon. And now it's Renz that has to play that waiting game with this operator that ADG have already known is there thanks to that opening play, which was also pretty smart, by the way. Just a shame he didn't get one out of it. Got to smoke your way out if you're Bones and you want to get out of this okay. Well, do they expect this from Ange? He was definitely keen for it, but it's a timing game. Now you got to be ready for Hugh's walk up, and that's why he took that low altitude. Just for the frag back. Renz has no easy way to get a rifle here, so should be pretty cooked.
Oh yeah, T-Dog as well on this off angle. It's gonna be great.
It's the Guardian too. You gotta just tap it, and there it is, T-Dog. Nice swing to it. So the rhythm being well established this time by ADG. A little bit of a stop and start to prevent NRG Academy from getting in their bag too hard, and it worked so well.
Yeah, and that round really was just off the back of Hugh, who does such a good job at navigating around the site here. I was gonna say, like, it just kind of feels like when they want to push into the site, there's not that much support on the way in, which opens up so many of these different angles, allowing NRG Academy to just kind of dig their heels in, play those long sight lines, and make that one work. But then Hugh working the Yoru masterfully, you know, kind of getting up into the defense's faces, catching them by surprise, and securing that to make it such an awkward round for NRG Academy's defense. That's kind of what you want to see out of that disruptive duelist.
ADG gonna kind of take stock to start things out here. Is NRG a pretty early defensive setup? This Viper's pit on top of the screen for A main. Will encourage a lot more mid presence. Giza has stuck here before, but there's no screen to escort, so it's got to be chaotic with this operator. And this is just such an open space to lob yourself into with it. It's terrifying.
I will say, though, they're watching for the teleport again, so... Yeah, Giza, though, gets that kill, so no need to use the teleport.
Well, he will now, but it's safe. They haven't breached enough space in the elbow now, and the drone is only going to confirm what they already know. Hugh just... distraction dance in the pit, does catch Renz, and now an idea of where Ange might be. Go back into the pit. Like, you're hinging everything on him being able to box this out, but... the other three members of ADG are in, and NRG Academy as well spread. Shondex from the back!
Oh my!
Catches two coming out the doorway. There's just always something missing!
Oh boy. ADG will be able to recover the spike. They should be able to get the spike plant down, but like, look at where NRG Academy are going. We're seeing the rotation around from Chloric to kind of join up with Ange. This one's going to be a tough one for ADG.
Spike.
Look at Bones' loop. Is this even going to be in time? Hugh is going to have to hold it down for a millennium. Pit dissipates. Lets Chloric get a clean shot in, out the gate, and there's Bones' wrap, finding one. Giza distracted, turns into two, and it's a full-fledged, even-footing matchup now. Chloric having to make up that lost time. It's the double swing around the pyramid for every measure, but the paranoia stalls even longer. Now the smoke on top of it. Bones may have just saved this round for ADG. The double swing out is clean, and NRGA hold it down. All Bones did could not cut it through.
It is over.
The timing was perfect, exactly like you were calling there. Bones able to get the wraparound, finds just Shondex looking the wrong way after Shondex had an unbelievable kind of just long shot, making sure to shut down not only one person, but the spike as well. And yeah, Bones trying to make that one work, but just at the very end there, bit of a misplay. The paranoia goes out and unfortunately catches the Yoru as well, so they can't push off of that, allowing for NRG Academy to be able to regroup, and as a result, just kind of take that 50-50 gamble. Honestly, could have broke either way, but it will be NRG Academy coming out on top. And so, yet again, a weird buy on the side of ADG. It's going to be the knives coming out through. Renz goes right in, actually, and Chaotic
man.
ready to shut it down.
Yeah, so prepared this time around. There's always that elbow present that it looked like Renz was trying to just purely punish, but nothing doing this time around, and now Chaotic can kind of flex that for a moment as ADG start getting a little more boisterous. Otherwise, this Interceptor might finally get some play if we see the full-fledged B main take, but a Toxic Orb, interesting way to get Chaotic in. I love getting in the cubby quick and then initiating the rest of the push now that the Interceptor's done, but Giza does find him solo and steps out and finds two more! That's just unbelievable, dude! Mountains out of molehills here. Still 2v1. Sacred caught by the shock dart. Brought him down to 80. Now 20.
Boy.
Double shot of that espresso from Chloric. And he's holding that sight too. All to him. That's a real statement piece from NRG Academy now. And Giza holding on to that top frag position. Man, oh man, he's clean.
It's just like NRG Academy just know. Like, they just know exactly what's going to be happening there, and oh my goodness, like Giza's been getting an unbelievable amount of value on this veto. And really, sure, you can look at the utility and like how it's stalling things out just a little bit more, but genuinely speaking, it's kind of coming down to these tricky positions. Has consistently pushed up mid, found the first blood right off the bat, and then this time just tucked away in a corner that you don't necessarily expect people to be in, especially with the teleport available to the veto. So, you know, just Giza being in the right place at the right time, and ADG not aware of where that veto could be hanging out. It's those little small changes that are making this so much more difficult for ADG to get a clean initiation onto the site to be able to get that spike down. And rightfully so. I think they're taking that time out now just to kind of cool their heads off a little bit and try to think about what they can do, because NRG Academy are just looking real sharp on their rounds.
It feels like the buddy system is a little too defined for Azure Dragon right now. Like, you need somebody to hold your hand on your way into a site, and it requires a full-length discussion in order to make that happen. NRG Academy are just a little more fluid on their connections right now. There's always somebody watching somebody else, and they don't really have to think about it that hard. ADG, there's always one off angle that they may be forgetting about, or just something that hasn't been fully conditioned yet that they're not prepared for. And that's the thing about ADG, is they take that second to get going, and when they do, that momentum's gonna start up. I'm sure when we flip halves, we're gonna have this same sort of discussion when Sacred starts getting 3Ks every single round on top of his screens. But until then, this is still a measure of stunted below NRG Academy, and it's tough to know when that can get cleaned up, especially when this ult rotation is still looking divine from NRG Academy. He's still got this Evo to hold on to, and Shondex has that TP in the wings.
Yeah, and immediately Ange just kind of tosses out the snake bite there to stall things out, and once again, just another wrench thrown into the gears of ADG. It's such an awkward position now for Hugh and Chaotic. They will have to wait for that smoke to be able to come up so they can even get out of here. But that's a lot of damage that it's more or less just taken for free, and you know, like, you know what I'm getting? It's like ADG memorized all the answers to the test, and then they got to the test and realized that there were different questions on it. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow, that's a great metaphor for it, yeah. You can tell Azure Dragon did their homework. It's just NRG Academy. They're 2 units ahead. Stepping out of the smoke. Renz can hold it down with that Outlaw. Gonna try and get that extra space with the lesser guns, the screen and the smoke from Bones. Still doing a lot of work, though. Good amount of time already wasted with such a heavy presence, but eventually something's gotta break. Just Ross stepping it down. There's Renz. On top of the kills, 2 for him now, and everybody just converges from here. It seems just so simple, dude. They just own it.
And I do wonder how much this is kind of just the fact that NRG Academy are running a little bit of a different setup on their agent composition coming into this map, right? Because ADG, like, they've got their game plan. They know what they want to do. They know how to do things. It should be good. But then as soon as something kind of gets introduced that, you know, the plan is kind of thrown to the wayside and then they don't really get to do exactly what they wanted to do, then it looks like everyone is just kind of scouring around. Like nobody's watching the appropriate angles that they need to. It doesn't feel like there's good coverage or small util combos to allow each other to swing off of the utility. It just feels a little bit discombobulated. Well, NRG Academy, like they're just playing exactly how they want to. And even in some of those moments of chaos, a couple of their players, you know, just hanging back, and it feels like that little built-in synergy is just making a world of difference right now.
I mean, you can tell that NRG Academy is starting to get a little almost overheating with it. Now that that was both shock darts used out the gate by Chloric on top of the stack, found basically nothing, and then ADG just kept walking through. There was no buddy system that time. There was no secondary to catch the opening frag. Giza's made it back in. Rest of NRG Academy has, in fact, very quick. These guys are a lot of mobility on in the kits. Giza's just gonna keep walking it down until he dies. Sure, 2 for him, keeping it 1-1. And now the TP out, double TP actually. ADG able to just maintain that presence in main while it all has to be re-cleared. But you have so much smoke on the other side that you can start tapping, have Renz escort himself into the front line to get 2, and Sacred after the snake bites tossed!
Oh, man.
The defense! And just when you think ADG's got it all figured out, NRG Academy says, pop quiz, hotshot, we still got our duelist active.
Oh, geez, I was just about to say, the fact that Chaotic finds a couple of kills right off the rip, removes pretty much the main pieces of the NRG defense on that A site, should be nice, clean, and easy. And yet, it is just on the side of NRG Academy. They come alive when they need them most, just at the very end there. It's kind of unbelievable, too, because I was looking at Sacred's wraparound, and I thought for sure this Viper was going to be able to find some value, find them looking the wrong way. But instead, doesn't matter. Renz is still able to secure the kill after Shondex goes down to the snake bite. And NRG Academy show no signs of slowing down. Now 8-3, last round in this half. And Giza once again just hanging out close to mid, but will retreat back to B as soon as that pressure is felt.
Standing in front of a lot of these problems, waiting to see what can be intercepted, and eventually Shondex is punished for it. Now Giza stands alone and instantly gets spotted by Chaotic with the knives. Now the Viper's pit goes up, and I mean, yeah, every reason to dunk everything into this last round of the half. ADG now in the 5v3, and no real way to enter back with Renz's operator that he's purchased up into this round 2. Chaotic's already spun the block through the elbow and is gonna turn it into 2 more, make it 3, and that's a pop-off round for the Jett that'll easily nail a round for ADG.
Oh man, and that's a really good way that you would want to end that half, being able to find the round, sure, but also just kind of getting Chaotic back online. Obviously, the start of this match was kind of getting owned. You know, Giza was consistently finding this Jett, just making sure that nothing kind of was going to get online. Operator, that's cool. You're dead anyways. Can't even use that sniper rifle. But Chaotic finally starting to heat up now, and to me is going to be the big win condition to make sure that ADG can continue to find it. Obviously, you highlighted Secret as well. The Viper so key on Breeze, but let's see how these ones want to go while NRG Academy, they swap over onto their offense. And now I've got a couple of questions because I do think that Giza on this veto, that tends to be a little bit more just for those post plants. Use the interceptor to prevent the enemy from being able to push in, but they got to make sure to go into the site and get that spike down first before any of that becomes really useful. That's crazy, by the way. That's
Giza's gonna get his legwork in regardless. Oh man, that's a nice first blood from him on top of the recon. Searching for the little things. And yeah, I agree. It's gonna be this first half of the pre-plant that's really difficult for them, but if you can just run your way down it, shoot, you're gonna be just fine. Not flawless, but makes it mighty close. Jeez, that was blasphemous.
Man, like, the smoke went down, and NRGA were like, all right, let's move in, I guess. And ADG had simply no answer there. Like, they just kind of just walked right in, and you could see that there was a little bit of a timing for Sacred just being like, hey, okay, let's just try it. Oh, now, there's what, 5 people here? That's not good. And they're just immediately dead. Like, NRG Academy just waited for their time, and then they were just like, all right, let's go in there and let's get the spike down. Nice, clean, and easy, and basically called it a day after that round. But, of course, the buy-up coming through and getting the Phantom here. A lot of questions still to be answered by ADG. NRG Academy, once again, just blazing ahead of them as this continues to unfold.
I'm just waiting to see if any of these ecos get antsy. But until then, you can really start experimenting with how much util you're willing to burn in the pre-plan. Because like you said, that is still going to be the tough part of these attack rounds for NRG Academy, just getting onto the problem. So if ADG, like in this round, just keeps standing in front of it, killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Of course, way easier to do that with better guns. This time around, a hunting we will go. Chaotic catching early on the screen, so it's going to be A main that's the choice. Good thing, too. That's where the 4 stack sits. T-Dog, great recon. That might slow him down, which shouldn't, though.
No way.
The rest of ADG's on the way back. Yeah, T-Dog netting a kill out of that, too. Beyond impressive.
30 seconds left.
Info given, though, that Chaotic's on flank.
Grounded.
Oh, rush down, though. They didn't expect him to come so quick. And Ren's dead immediately. Now ADG can converge even faster, turn up the gas. And Shondex is so trapped at the moment. He's just got to save him after that first frag is luckily traded away. He's up. Oh, that's a tough one to take. No idea where to aim for. And ADG will steal away the follow-up. Beautiful patience. Exactly what we were looking for the game so far.
Yikes. Yeah, hate to see the little whiffage there. And once again, like, you know, the energy, hey, we can just run you over, completely goes unfounded that time. And Chaotic so quick to be able to navigate all the way through the spawn, gets kind of caught out, doesn't matter, looks in there anyways, just looking for those kills. And as soon as that first one happens on the actual site, suddenly it becomes a very winnable scenario. And so ADG are able to scrap back and pick up a round. T-Dog gonna be picking up an Odin as well. Full rifles on the board for ADG, ready to shut down NRG Academy. But NRG Academy, well, looks like they're going to be pushing up onto A yet again. Just have to be careful of some of that silver utility. That might just kind of make things happen. But Giza goes down early to Hughes Outlaw.
Very quick. Just was running it down in the double peek from the nest. Not even about conditioning. Feels like NRG Academy is just seeing if ADG's messing anything up by default.
Yeah, look at this, like, double peek. That's kind of happened from the duelists up in heaven. They're covering each other's angles, just in case that mid presence kind of gets torn apart. And that was so key to the ADG game plan. Wonder if NRG Academy are wondering if that's even worth it at this point. So it looks like they will be moving over towards B. Only person they're going to have to check there is Sacred, but keep in mind, they should have an easy time getting in, at least. Once those duelists come in as well, things are going to get a lot more difficult to move in on B.
Oh, sees the tailwind proc. So he gets that extra fraction of time to respond with the Outlaw. And this convergence looks pretty clean. He was going to miss that first double tap, but yeah, you can track Shondex's backstepping enough there. Very well managed by Azure Dragon to find their footing in one of the few moments left this regulation that they could. But he was still here. Should be fine. Yes, indeed. All right. So, yeah, I mean, taking stock of what we've got now, ADG not close to any ultimates necessarily just yet. Still ahead in the economic game. They're going to be able to keep up with NRG Academy even if they, you know, get their own foot back in the door here. But it really seems like they're playing with a lot more discipline now, a lot more willing to play with how much space Breeze provides them.
Yeah, and now especially too, we get to see Hugh pick up the operator into this next one. And I'm pretty excited because the sniper rifle gameplay has looked pretty good coming from that Yoru. And especially with how annoying Giza was previously. I imagine a little bit of payback is due for ADG. As we see NRG Academy, they go for the 1-3-1. Giza looking for it. Yep. Tale as old as time. Chaotic goes down.
Wherever he happens to be lurking, make sure you dare not peek it. And yeah, I mean, now NRG Academy have, you know, 60 seconds to play as slow as they want to. Like, they can wait to see if anybody else from ADG decides to poke their head out of the sand. The closest they get so far is T-Dog just droning on the door. Yeah, everybody's playing so far back now. Look at this shift.
And this is going to be tough because I do think that Chaotic was a big part of how ADG were able to get their rounds together. Bones getting spotted out though, so Paranoia will have to get let go. T-Dog is going to be ready to spray this one down, but NRG Academy moving in.
Yeah, they've made their move. They've made that decision, and oh, nice spin, but the toxic screen actually gives Renz a bit of a disadvantage, and no one can breach this yet. Bones just continuing to walk it down. And that lets Hugh take the new position up on the bridge. This is so present by ADG, again, so quickly on top of the initiation. Even the shock dart tossed on top of the plant. Chloric is low, and now alone. Has to play against so much in his face, but Hugh's revealed himself. Chloric's now already spun, it's red, but not meant twice over until T-Dog hops over with the shorty. Always one to keep it cinematic, but ADG make it 7-9.
Did T-Dog just bait Sacred? Like,
I think
all right,
so.
You go first, buddy. I got the shorty in hand. I'm ready to hop around the corner at a moment's notice. That's so funny, but hey, you know, a round is a round, and on top of that, they're able to pick up the operator to carry that one forwards, and so it's gonna be a weird buy here. I thought for sure being able to find Chaotic right off the rip was gonna make this so much more different. Chloric, honestly, giving this a really good run, being able to find Sacred and then getting taken down by the shotgun. But yeah, NRG Academy, it will be taking a second to breathe, to figure things out, because it just keeps on working out in ADG's favor at this point. The defenses for both these teams right now has been looking a lot more impressive than the offense on the other side. So, Ange, gonna be buying up the Stinger here. Chloric does have the Hunter's Fury, but Tenrek, I don't know. Like, it just feels like when they're ready to move in on the site, they just kind of get mowed down by someone just kind of hanging out, you know?
Yeah, that's really what it is. Like, the presence from ADG is just so staggering on both of these sites at the same time, and that has a lot to do with Hugh's ability to be there at, you know, on both at the same time, essentially. Wherever you hear that large presence of noise, even Hugh just standing in the back with those op shots letting fly, that discloses that NRG Academy has at least one way that is absolutely a no-go for them coming into a site like that. And any sort of indecision that you force them to have on such a tight window where they are entering, because you see the gears turning for NRG Academy, there's already util getting launched at their faces when they're deciding to make these entries. Anytime they have those missteps, it is going to pay big dividends back to ADG. So love seeing these moments where you're forcing NRG Academy to kind of slip on their own laces. And that's T-Dog doing the antithesis, just firing blindly through that one way on the Odin, seeing if he can get away with something.
Yeah, and at this point, if you are NRG Academy, I imagine during that timeout, you should have gotten a little bit better of a read on how ADG are setting up this defense, right? You know Bones and T-Dog are going to be on this middle site. You know that generally speaking, it's going to be Chaotic paired up with Sacred, and then he was going to be that player who's just kind of navigating around. Yoru able to teleport around quick, but Bones is able to find one, find two.
Yeah, found pretty unquestionably, and T-Dog hasn't had to move from this spot since the dawn of time. Everything that NRG has to clear so far is piecemeal with these lesser guns. Shondex does get away with this wrap through mid.
All right.
Nice double, buddy. That was clean. I'll see if anybody can. I was gonna say if anybody can farm an ult here, but it's gonna be T-Dog that gets that kill as well. And now you don't just have this operator from Hugh that can be an omnipresent danger. You have this Odin from T-Dog that is a blatant shutdown of the front line for whatever side he happens to be on. So now B appears even more enticing, but guess what? That's where Sacred's usually sitting. That's where you usually have the TPs available, so you have the even quicker response time. The options are dwindling here for NRG Academy.
And not to be that guy, but I wonder how much it comes back to just the composition. Because taking a look at the differences between these two teams, there's not a lot of flash pressure that NRG Academy can kind of utilize. And on top of that as well, like the smokes not really being set up in the right areas to guarantee safe passage. This time though, Bones under a lot of pressure. The swap up means that T-Dog is not here to spray them down with the Odin.
Evo on top of the interceptor as well, so nothing can catch them. And they've really managed to catch ADG with lesser presence here, and the Hunter's Fury tandem catches Hugh stocked up on bridge. Now that distance is finally a punishment available for NRG Academy, and they'll convert it into a pit, and Yeezus Evo will actually grab a 2K on top of it. He's just gonna continue walking it down to allow the rest of NRG Academy to outstretch. Ren's first out from the pit, and now he can play guard dog, while Shondex takes the brunt of the punishment from Chaotic, who is now the only defender left. How much more does he decide to go for with the spike already at like halftime and Chloric already in the sand? No way he expects it. And NRG Academy will hit double digits, and it took a couple ultimates, but it also did not really look that questionable.
Don't give them time.
No, honestly, it was just that Odin is scary. Let's not walk into the Odin that time. And it really just came down to chance, right? Because if T-Dog happened to be on that site, I think we would have been seeing a very different story on how that round would have went. by the time T-Dog arrived with the Odin to be able to deny a lot of that entry, it didn't matter because NRG Academy were already in onto the site. Once again, it's a very classic hit onto the A. You send in the scan, you send up the wall, you just walk in, clear out the little corners there, which I think Bones was the only one who was hanging around. And as soon as that happens, nice, easy, clean. And honestly, Giza, sure, use the evolution to try and make sure that nothing could kind of really delay him anymore. But I genuinely don't know whether or not it was even worth it at that point because no flashes, no nothing came in for ADG. Giza just held the angle and won.
It's true, yeah. It's hard to find places against this comp specifically to justify the Evo. Because what are you getting hit by? A toxic screen if Sacred's active, and then Hughes and Bones' flashes. That's kind of all you really need to worry about in those one-to-one fights that Giz is taking. But it seems like, if anything, it's just a little bit of a brag at that point. You know? Just go into boss mode a little bit harder.
Yeah, just flex on the haters.
Exactly. And a 20 bomb now to show that in the scoreboard. And he keep it going. 3 more rounds to get NRG Academy this win. Here on Breeze, get them 1 map away from the playoffs.
Different look coming from ADG. This time they go aggressive on A. Decide to push up completely. Don't find anybody there, so gives a lot of information, and we'll use this owl drone just to scout out mid as well, which more or less will just guarantee that this must be a B-side hit. Still though, NRG Academy just really taking their time, playing this nice and patient, try and find any information as Clark just confirms that T-Dog is not going to necessarily be pushed up. And it's just going to be a stalemate until someone makes a move.
Seeing if NRG Academy wants to continue teasing the doors, because Hughes' drone or clone got rid of the chokehold. But no, they'll fully lean to B. I'm a little surprised there hasn't been any sort of weight shift with the lack of, like, util thrown at A. I think that maybe Hugh would be ready to make that rotation over on top of the smoke, but no, we're in. Chaotic can just hold it down on his own. Good God.
30 seconds
Nice
left.
double tap. That recon does a lot of work, but nobody can really collapse on top of it now that Interceptor's toast.
Oh, can't even pick up the ultimate orb. That feels bad.
Yeah. Spike's now stuck, and we're in garbage time. So
Yep.
that was a rough.
10
I mean,
seconds
yeah,
left.
like utter silence from NRG Academy to start, and then you walk in with your orbs. You have lesser presence on the site, but there's still just like that one pocket you're not checking for. And like you said, with the lack of flashes, there isn't a way to flush anybody out of any of them.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to have enough people out at the same time to be able to see everything in front of them. And there's no way that's happening with this toxic orb.
Honestly, it feels like at this point, it's a look up challenge because every single time ADG on the defense specifically, like, yeah, we saw Chaotic there, but previously Bones was up in a different angle and able to find a couple of kills. It's just the verticality that's got to throw in NRG Academy off. And I'm glad that you do highlight the lack of flashing because that's the big thing, right? Like, if you can flash into the site just completely, then it doesn't matter where you're standing. If you're on any of these boxes or anything, won't be able to see what's going on. So a little bit of a difference here, but Hugh getting active.
Hyper investment with the Blade Storm is going to encourage NRG Academy to head towards B with their own, and Renz will be the first on that team to grab a kill. Ange in the back, Chaotic ready for it, but only turns it cosmetically. And so NRG Academy have the 4v3 now, sans that Blade Storm. But still, NRG Academy don't have the best guns to work with, and AEG's already taken this pressure back. Be the archway, and Sacred with the wrap, and now it's Ange that's not prepared for the stab.
Wow.
Sacred with the final 2 makes it look easy as pie. And we're tied up now. At 10
That's
apiece.
crazy. With how dominant that first half was looking, it's kind of unbelievable to be able to see ourselves kind of swapping onto this side. But once again, I think it just comes down to the compositional issues that NRG Academy is doing. It's like they double down on that defense to really just showcase what they can kind of do with the positioning and just the awareness of the map. When it comes to the offense, they're just struggling to get in the front door. And just on that last round as well, the desk definitely highlighted it, but Sacred is your guy who is always going to be flanking. Whenever there's any of those opportunities, you gotta be watching your back because Sacred will take those opportunities. And just like that, NRG Academy, they fall apart 10-10 now. Once again, this is ADG's map pick here. So if they're able to win this one out, that's how you want to start the series.
You have a way to keep him out with the pit, and you have a way to get back in with the dimensional drift. ADG have the pieces to build a win here. There's Hugh's drift. Very proactive, but it's to catch the crowd because the rest of ADG will be here to play for it. Who initiates? It's Bones. Stepping out of the bricks to begin. And with this wrap, how quick is it? Sacred's ready for it. Now it's a Viper on Viper in the middle of this big town brawl on site, which Floric will start out. Refragged by the other Sova. Still even Steven, still neutrality. Shondex making it to the back, finally getting a stab in, but Bones wins it back and Sacred wins the Viper duel. So it's Rens versus 2, and Bones, once again with the quick wrap. The Guardian shots are not clean, and so Rens still has this 1v2, and neither is the pickup on the Vandal. It really is the little things this late into the game, this late into the Swiss, and ADG have the lead for the first time this game since the first 2 rounds.
100% Rens picked up that Guardian and was like, nice, I got a Vandal in hand. And then just when one bullet went out was like, oh, and then suddenly had to tap on Bones just jumping out into control, honestly. And still, it's just like the wraparounds, the little chaos that's going on this site of that B site, of course, just navigating around, finding the backs of their opponent. And rightfully so, NRG Academy will be taking a timeout. I mean, you just look at that scoreline, it's just night and day between these two teams on that defense. The defense seems to be what they like the most. NRG Academy were doing a great job at honestly getting the defuse. So after, you know, like coming back in, retaking the site, it's all good, all dandy. But I think that ADG right now, we're just doing a great job at stopping NRG from even getting the spike down. And honestly, that's just made a world of difference in how they can do things because, like I said, Giza's utility kit is really built around just that post plant. If they're having issues getting the spike down in the first place, then it becomes a lot harder for that Vito to get that value that you would expect from the kit.
Yeah, and on the other side, that post plan is nigh on invulnerable, not just with Giza's ability to shut down all of that entry util, but you have somebody like Ange that is going to play so closely to that spawn point more often than not, where you can just farm the post plants up on top of the shock dart, on top of the snake bite. You have so many ways to stall and play keep away once you get that spike down. Until then, you've just got to play so bare bones, and ADG completely understanding that they're going to continue to play close to the situation here. On top of the drop down, the Toxic Ore makes it complicated, but Bones is able to pick it up. Rens will not find any footing, and now that lone member on B site is not holding a candle to the A push, which Shondex will begin by taking down Chaotic. Sacred a little farther away from the problem than expected, and now that intercept are going to get used to make sure Sacred can't play preventatively on top of it. Instead, he gonna pit? Okay. Sure, we'll see.
It's a choice.
Recon catches Giza. We're back in. Chloric on the lurk check. Everybody's ahead of him. Shondex holding his own. He gets 3 with the Sheriff? Hello? You alone. 1 shot left on the Outlaw. Back to the Sheriff. First 2 missed. Giza has a Vandal. It's over. And that was a Make-A-Wish round if I've ever seen one, Marks. That was ridiculous.
I'm like ready to jump out of my chair with how that round went. Like, first of all, maybe ADG just really wanted to make a wish with 11-11. That's my best guess, so that we can get that evened out scoreline. But Sacred popping the pit there, I have questions.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's like, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's just a little bit of craziness kind of going on, but the pit getting deployed is not exactly the best move, given the fact that it didn't really cover a lot of the site, nor did it really deny anything. And that is such an important tool on that defense. The pit now being gone makes this a little bit more difficult, but NRG Academy are able to buy up into this next one. Ren's taking a lot of damage, but still, it is just going to be the slowdown. A great fake last round from NRG Academy.
Bones with a huge creep up to the window in case NRG decides to spin back to the B site early on. But instead, that mid fight will continue to press on, and now T-Dog encouraged to even let that Hunter's Fury fly with enough of a stack, but he doesn't chase anybody down. In fact, he doesn't even make that much space to clear the board until after the fact, where NRG Academy can reconsider. Bones stepping out of that window to try and get some free damage after he understands that that's not where NRG is going to be pushing. They'll end A, more likely than not. but they'll still let Chloric do a little waiting to see if Bones gets a little tired of waiting himself. Oh, this could be an awkward angle in the elbow. He's so far apart, maybe trying to fake so that Hugh sticks around.
Yeah. It must be
30
just
seconds
another fake on that side. Yeah, exactly like you said. 30 seconds left on the clock. The
30
smoke screen
seconds
goes
left.
back up. This is all going to be on Sacred right now to hold this one down.
Orb up from Sacred, just into the fight. Still playing it slow, so everything used quite early from Sacred. The T-Dog's in front of this, so it'll come down to the firepower instead, which is what you want. NRG make it through. Ren's tough angle to take. Swings into the door, turns momentum back towards ADG. Hugh holding close to grab a second, but Shondex, 5 seconds to go, but against T-Dog, he has to win the fight, but T-Dog's in front of it, and Shondex! Less than enough time to plant the spike, but more than enough time to kill T-Dog, that's for sure. And it's game point, NRGA.
Oh boy, Shondex really coming alive, really stepping up to the plate here on that attack. Multiple rounds now. Just being able to find so much value with that. Honestly, just being able to win out the gunfights. And just like that, NRG Academy are poised to potentially win out map number 1. This time around, not necessarily the way that you would have expected it to. It's just a little bit slower, you know, delaying the play, letting Azure Dragon Gaming get a little bit more aggressive here. But this time around, it's just, well, a lot of ultimates ripped right off the bat here. No ground taken. Giza, though, going hunting.
Oh, Shondex faked the TP so quick to make sure that Hugh was forced to go back and check basically every empty space now. So you have him going through that laundry list, and all the while, Giza, safely in the mid door, catches T-Dog on the jump. Long distance buddy system engaged here for NRG Academy, and Giza's gonna keep on walking.
Same time, take a look over to that A site. Bones moved so far up, guarantees that good piece of information. Even if they do move in through those doors, they gotta make sure that they're ready for this crunch coming through, because where Chaotic can kind of wrap around, and especially Bones, this round could be over.
Yeah, could get silenced right back to overtime if this is not checked. It's wide swung, doesn't matter against the judge. Oh, but Bones doesn't find the second. It'll stay a 4v3. Chaotic, next line of defense. Giza with the walk-in. It's red, it's caught, it's killed. 3v3. But Chaotic stands quite alone against this toxic screen push, and so instead, he'll relocate to the back boxes, make sure he can only take one fight at a time until the rest of the team gets here, and Hugh has made it back to orange.
Loric has ult
Decoy
too.
out. Yeah, I mean, you can just play so much time here. You have to get in quick. Early Hunter's Fury on top of the fight. Oh, but Renz will hold it down for 2. Sacred already used just about everything just to flush them off the spike presence, so instead he's got to get into the cave first. Chloric is down. Oh, but Renz is ready. And it is a 13-11 victory. NRG Academy hold the line just enough to take Breeze.